And I am live. Hi, so I'm back with another live. And today, as you can see with the title, it is Intuitive Magic, all about the intuition. And the theme of this live is about opening your portal to making empowering decisions beyond logic. When we think of intuition, we often think of it, sorry, there's some car noise. When we think about intuition, we think of it just being something that psychics have access to, people that have gone through spiritual awakenings, that have gone through. But to be quite honest, we all have intuition. It's a muscle we very much all have. It's something, like I said, it's a muscle. It's a skill that we harness, enhance, develop, strengthen within ourselves. When we learn to make our intuition a part of us from a day to day perspective, we allow ourselves the opportunity to make empowering decisions and choices that go beyond logical thinking. So, this is why I wanted to create this live, because I know when we're manifesting our dream lives, when we're wanting to live more soulful, fulfilling lives, when we want to live more balanced and fulfilling lives, there is an element of, there's things that are logical, and then there are also things that are beyond logic and beyond reasoning. That's what makes it so magical. That's what makes it feel so much more flow-ish, more easeful, connecting to God, to source, to the universe, however you call God. I call God God. But for you, whatever your word is, your intuition's required. When you have your intuition, then you can find yourself. I like to think of the intuition as one connector to source, connector to your soul self, which is connected to source. And it's like the breadcrumb lever. It leaves breadcrumbs for you to follow. And the thing about the intuition is, first few times, it seems really illogical, and that I understand can be really scary. But it's about how can we access our intuition and let our intuition lead with smaller pockets, moments in our life. Deciding what you want to eat, or deciding what you want to wear, or, just popping a question of like, I'm wondering what animal is going to show up. And then, that sounds a little ridiculous. But this is all to train your intuition. I've got some guidelines so I can keep on track today. So, okay. Intuition, I feel intuition really has to do with your internal wisdom, your internal compass. When we're thinking about leading lives that we truly desire and we truly love and that feel like us and that are connected to our soul selves, there is a level of needing to come back inside internally to hear. You'll hear like, oh, it's a little whisper, it's a subtle voice. That is true. And I also think that for various people, there's different ways intuition can come about. So, for example, for me, my intuition shows up through voice, clairaudience, yes. And sometimes I just get a feeling like I feel this certain thing. The other thing that I feel is not said often, but is also a way that your intuition can show up, is when you just have a knowing that you're not sure how you know, but it's just this internal knowing of like, I should be going there, or this thing is this specific thing, right? And so when you can get the flavor of what your intuition is like, and also get to know what is your intuitive process, how long does it take for your intuition to speak to you, how quiet do you need to get. We speak about getting quiet in the mind, but I also think getting quiet in the body is really important, because when I think of my journey, 4 years ago, even 5 years ago, I wouldn't have considered myself as an intuitive person, which is kind of ironic because I run a spiritual business. But I needed to, one, quiet the mind. The mind wasn't so much of an issue for me, it was more of like my body. I was really anxious and I had so much stress in my body that it quieted down my intuition. And so, even checking in how peaceful, how calm, how grounded, how stable in terms of energy, like how you feel. So, thinking of moments when, it's a relaxing Sunday, you have nothing to do, you have no obligations, you're in bed and you're just like, you know, I feel so good right now. That's often, more often than not, the time when your intuition comes. For me, we always hear like people getting crazy ideas when they're in the shower. I'm that one person. Getting crazy ideas or getting an idea or an answer to a question that you were asking or thinking about days, if not moments ago, but it only landed when you were in the bathroom bathing or showering or whatever, right? That's because when you're connecting to your intuition, there's a level of peacefulness, groundedness. The thing about intuition is there can be intuition and then there can be your mind or the ego, the fear talking. So the fear, people always say, like it's often said that fear or the ego talks louder than the intuition. To a point that is true. When you get to a point where you've quieted down the body and the mind, your intuition can actually speak a lot more clearer. And the thing about it, like with all things, you need to practice that muscle. You need to get to know what your intuition is like for you. Because when you can do that, then you can increase the capacity in which you can bring your intuition in. When you're making decisions, what the next move is, what direction you want to take, what ideas you may have, anything that requires a level of creativity, a level of going beyond your current reality, your current thought process, your current belief system, and connecting straight to God, connecting straight to source, connecting even to when you hear like connecting into like your next level self. All of that requires intuition. To do that, you need to have a clear, stable, peaceful being. So, since I said that, I'm gonna actually give some practical insights as to how. The first ones, I think it's a little more commonly spoken about when we speak of like meditation, we speak of practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is more of how can you quiet down the mind? How can you slow down the time from one moment into the next? Being mindful is about being present. That's what meditation does. It provides a space for you to be present and also really, I'm going to even say this. What are the things that get you in a relaxed state? Because the thing about intuition and the thing about knowing and getting internal wisdom from within requires quietness. It requires stillness. Maybe you're not someone that enjoys meditation or you're not for meditation. What's something that can offer you that? Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's going hiking. Maybe it's running. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's dancing. There's so many ways, other ways that we can practice mindfulness, a meditative state, just anything that can bring you back into your body, that can quiet down your body. When we're thinking of releasing anxiety or releasing stress or anything that creates this fast-paced energy, this like go 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 energy, this like move. I don't have the word for it, but it's this like fast-paced energy, needing to get somewhere, needing to move and come back to a slower movement. Then you can even think about, how can I practice stillness, mindfulness through the breath. So breath work, there's several resources online that can provide that can give you like certain breath works. For me, one I really love is box breathing. So breathing in for the count of four, holding for four, exhaling for four, holding for four after exhaling, and doing that process over and over and over and over again. Even just breathing in, there's also a technique where you breathe in for four, hold for five, exhale for six, and then so yeah, there's several breathing techniques that can also bring you a more calmer state. This is the thing, when we're in stress, when we're anxious, when we're in panic, we forget how to breathe, you know? We really forget how to breathe and just be in stillness. When we're able to breathe and remember the breath and just breathe in life, you start recognizing that it's not as fast paced, it's not as panicky, it's not as stressful as it actually is. And so that's one way you can also access a calm, collected state. And I would even invite you to incorporating this into your daily routine. I know for me, I think 6 years ago, about 7 years ago, when I was at the place in my life where it was just constant go, 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 constant pressure, constant like feeling really anxious to the point where I started getting like panic attacks. One of the things I started doing was meditating, but it wasn't like quiet, still meditating. It was guided meditation practices where I could just slow down and breathe and allow myself to come into a sense of calm. And the one I absolutely love was yoga. I started doing yoga pretty much every night, and those are the things that really help bring stillness. And that actually opened me up to when I then became more aware of, okay, I don't need to be as I don't need to live life as fast paced as I used to. I can live in a very softer, easeful way. So yes, coming back to intuition, I do want to say there's also multiple resources. So if you're into human design can also provide an insight of how your intuition speaks to you. Be it that if your spleen authority, it's that silent whisper. If it's sacral, it's the gut feeling of yes, no, maybe, Um, if you're an emotional authority, it's mainly through feeling the emotional wave and giving yourself 24 hours, 48 hours time to actually gather your thoughts, gather yourself to make the decision. And I think this is also a really important one. If you know you're someone, especially with like decisions that are a little important, if you know that you're someone that needs time to think and feel things through, give yourself permission to do that, because it's better you do that than not regret it. You make those decisions when you come to a space of grounded clarity. And when I say grounded, it means that it's not emotionally charged. This is the thing about intuition as well. More often than not, intuition isn't emotionally charged. It's not charged with like fear, panic, anxiety, or even stress. It has a very soft, a very stable, a very grounded, calm way of showing up. And so I invite you to start gathering how your intuition works for you and start applying it in your everyday life. So, think that is all for me today. Yes, that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what landed for you, and if you'd like for me to do a part 2 about intuition, let me know. Love you so much. Bye.